Hi, this is Hank Hennegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast with another Hank Unplugged short. This is a short based on an article by a scholar named Tom Mackaman, and he's writing on the World Socialist website, no less. The article is titled American Historical Association President Issues Groveling Apology After Racialist Social Media Attack. And in this article, Tom says that here we have the president of the American Historical Association, a professor by the name of James Sweet, a professor in the University of Wisconsin, who makes an innocuous criticism of the 1619 Project, and then ends up having to publish a groveling apology. What did he do? Well, Sweet criticized the dominance of presentism in historical writing. Presentism, which is the tendency to view history through the prism of contemporary social justice issues. And then he also suggested that the 1619 Project's implication that slavery was a uniquely American original sin wasn't quite right. But then, in face of social media criticism, he wilted. Criticism such as, quote, as a white man, he has no right to make critical commentary on Black or African history. So he comes undone, he crumples, he repents, he tweets out an apology. The apology contains such sentiments as, I take full responsibility, I am deeply sorry, I sincerely regret, I hope to redeem myself. Well, why does he do that? Well, he doesn't want to lose his job. He doesn't want to lose his livelihood. I suppose it's a pretty predictable thing to do. But I was talking to Dr. Mary Graybar on a Hank Unplugged podcast. She's the author of Debunking the 1619 Project. And I think contrast is the conduit to clarity, and you contrast Dr. Mary Graybar with this Professor James Sweet. She exemplifies courage. She debunks the 1619 Project, her subtitle, Exposing the Plan to Divide America. And she writes this masterpiece, and she pays the price. When I think of this contrast, I think about the fact that she was willing to stand for truth no matter the cost, which is precisely what Christ calls us to do as Christians. To stand for truth no matter the cost. To look not at our mean, temporary, material successes or our circumstances, but to take the broad view, to consider eternity, to consider the fact that this life is but a drop in the ocean of eternity, to recognize the verity that we only live this life once, this life that is fleeting, and then eternity, which is why Christ said in the Sermon on the Mount, do not store for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust corrode and where thieves break in and steal, but store for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not corrupt and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either he will love the one and hate the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Well, this ultimately is not just about Professor James Sweet contrasted to Dr. Mary Graybar. It's about all of us. Each day we must make decisions to live for the temporary or for the eternal, to make a difference or to capitulate. We're the salt of the earth, Jesus said. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men. We're the light of the world. But if we hide our light, we are no longer the leavening force in the culture. And when that happens, culture devolves. So as I like to say, we can curse the darkness, or we can build a lighthouse in the midst of the gathering storm. Thanks for tuning in.